Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham with Hannah Burr. Hello Hannah, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It's warming up a little bit, not much, but it's getting there. Hope everybody, I know a lot of places in the East Coast got it worse than we did
Mm,
here in Kentucky, but guys, my kids are finally going back to school next week or tomorrow,
wow.
they've been out for about 2 weeks now.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's how the that's how ill prepared I feel like some of the cities were with the roads and stuff. So
Oh, of course. And because the thing is with the weather, they'll give a forecast and it's either not as bad as they say it is or it's
right,
worse.
right,
And you got to take a gamble as to which it's going to be. Uh,
yeah,
I mean, with us down here in Florida in Orlando, it was 28 degrees. I know everybody was freaking out, and I'm like, guys, chill. It's only 28 degrees.
right.
Not a big deal. And people were like, yeah, my pipes burst, my like
Mm-hmm,
it was
mm-hmm.
insane. And I'm like, dang.
Yep,
And
yep.
like people were like, oh my gosh, my car was frosted over. I'm like, what's going on? We got a winter warning or whatever, weather
Yeah,
warning or
yeah,
whatever. Like I'm like, guys, calm down. It's only 28 degrees.
yeah,
What is your deal?
yeah, yeah. The wind chill got pretty bad here some places, but it was
It
below.
did. I did go into volunteer Sunday morning and I stepped outside and I'm like, oh, not really cold.
Yeah,
Apparently it felt like 9 degrees.
remind you of Kentucky a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I was like, oh,
Yeah. So welcome everybody back to the show, and thanks to our patrons as always for the continued support. And I know some of them. I see a couple of them commented, I think, on our last episode where we talked about Mall, the trailer. Um, so Theron says, Mall trailer was awesome. I'm not really one for bringing people back from the dead, but Maul is an example of it being done so well, and they have used him amazingly through the Clone Wars and Empire era. I would love to see this go for multiple seasons. I would love to essentially see him with Kira in a season of Maul, since we know we are never going to get Solo 2. As for this season, wouldn't mind a few cameos, but I think we need to see Palpatine for sure. Thanks, Dave and Hannah. May the Force be with you. And then Brandon asks, will we see the Ghost Crew?
oh,
Now, we got to remember, at this point, we definitely aren't going to see Ezra or Sabine because they were just born.
right.
And Hera, I don't know how Hera's young at this point. I mean, she was in Clone Wars, right? So
Yeah, she's young,
she's young,
but
or not Clone Wars. She was in what was that, Bad Batch? I think it was Bad Batch, right?
ye-
Did we see her young in Bad Batch?
yes,
Yeah, I think didn't they travel to Ryloth
I think so.
and Omega kind of hung out with her? I think that was it. That was Bad Batch, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why my memory. That's what I remember. And I think, and so, of course, Kanan is young. Order 66 just happened, so
Right.
he's very. I mean, they're young. Could they show up? Maybe. I definitely think it's possible Kanan could, being on the run. Because it seems like we're going to get some Jedi that are kind of surviving Order 66 and on the run a little bit, but
Right.
we'll have to see. I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Okay, so as expected, once a trailer comes out, the buzz of that is lingering on for a few weeks. We talked pretty heavily about it last episode. Both obviously still looking forward to that show starting here in April. It's only
heck yes.
Yeah, it's only a couple months away. But this episode, we're going to talk mainly about the leadership changes that have been announced for both Lucasfilm and the mothership, the Walt Disney Company. And the Walt Disney Company just happened yesterday, even though it was kind of known that has been a search going on for a while, pretty much ever since Bob Iger came back. But let's talk first about the Lucasfilm change, because we had talked about a rumor on this episode, which was weird because Hannah asked me before we started recording, like, did we talk about this? And I was like, yeah, we talked about it. But now I'm starting to think I remember talking to Martin about it on The Mandalorian. We didn't actually talk about it. So as expected, Lucasfilm is making a change, and I don't believe that has been announced yet when it's going to actually happen, sometime this year. And as expected, it's been rumored for a while now, Kathleen Kennedy was going to step away. She is going to be doing that. She's not retiring by any means. She's going to go back to producing. But two people are going to be replacing her. So it's not going to be just a single president of Lucasfilm. They're going to be two people, co-presidents, and that is going to be, one of them is going to be Dave Filoni, and the other one's going to be Lin-Win Brennan. And Lin-Win is going to act more as the business side of the CEO position, and Dave Filoni is going to focus more and still be Chief Creative Officer. So, two people running Lucasfilm. Hannah, what do you think about that?
I think that's actually a really smart move, especially if you have these two people in mind. Yeah, or these two people. Clearly, one knows business, the other knows creative.
Mm-hmm.
They might have an idea about the other, but they don't have a basic understanding. So I think it's really smart to say, hey, let's have the two of you work together. Right. One of you focuses on business, one of you focuses on creative. I actually think it's a very, very smart move. It is difficult to find somebody who can be a CEO who genuinely understands everything. And do they have to be good at it? No. But in order to run a company, you have to know all of the dynamics of that company. Mm-hmm. You have to understand, or at least have a basic understanding of all the aspects, so you can actually carry on a conversation and you can make well-educated decisions because you actually know what you're talking about. So, and that's not to say either or of these people, like, they don't understand the other aspect. If anything, it makes their job easier. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're like, I don't have to worry about that part. Mm-hmm. Sure, I have to communicate, but I don't have to worry about the business. I can just focus on the creative. So I wonder if this is an experiment so that in the future, should our new CEO step down at any point, maybe this is a test run to see maybe we need two different CEOs, one to focus on the business, one to focus on the creative.
Yeah.
I think it's a different move that we haven't seen, but I think it's a smart move. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, well, it's, I guess you could make the argument that the CEO, is technically the business side of the company, right? I mean, they're making the strategic decisions on, what to invest in, how to make more money, how to save money. But they're also the face of the company. They're out there, on big companies like obviously Disney. I mean, they're out there talking to the press and talking to other partners, and it's just they're just constantly out there pushing the company forward. I think Kathleen, the thing about Kathleen Kennedy is she's always been a creative producer. So I don't know if she actually really understood the business side that much. I mean, she knew, but producing movies your whole life, like you're running your own production company and producing movies, I got to believe it's different than making strategic company-driven decisions on not just movies but an entire brand. I mean, Star Wars is massive. And it's not just movies, right? Because then you got the shows, you got the merchandise, you got the theme parks. I mean, you got all kinds of media, comics, books. It's a business. It's not just making content anymore. So I don't know if look, I think she did a great job. I don't think she didn't drive the company underground, obviously, but I think if she was just making movies and worried about making movies, I think she would have done a little bit better on some of the decisions. Having people think about it, when the sequels were coming out, there was a lot of division happening, right, with the fan base and even the box office. The box office didn't perform well with The Last Jedi. I mean, it did enough, but not nearly as much as it did with Force Awakens.
Right.
Solo bombed. So then all of a sudden there's this big delay in movies. I mean, there's an argument when Disney Plus came out, which I think was about a month before Episode 9 came out. I mean, you can kind of make the argument that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau kind of saved Star Wars with The Mandalorian.
You could. Well, what The Mandalorian did was you had people saying, you can't make Star Wars speak to the younger generation and speak to the older generation that saw it when they came out. No offense, Dave. And and both of them said, hold my beer. And they did it. Mandalorian spoke to both generations. So yes, I think there's a very solid argument for that.
And Kathleen's got to get credit to. I mean, it's up to her to kind of green light the project.
Right? Exactly.
They had to go pitch to her, and so she saw it, but she also entrusted, Filoni, who has obviously a track record of very successful shows, and Favreau, who has a very successful live action career, to kind of put it together. And it really kept her, I think, in the position for a little while longer. And it gave Dave Filoni time to develop into that leader. But there's no way, in my opinion, that Dave Filoni could ever just be the president of Lucasfilm, because he's not a business guy. He's a creative guy.
Yes.
So that's what I'm kind of getting at. This whole story I'm kind of getting at is that I'm happier that Filoni is still the chief creative officer. I don't really care that he's the co-president of Lucasfilm.
Right.
Because I don't think he needs to be making those business decisions. I think Lin-Wen is perfect for that. Because and Lin-Wen, just so people might not know, because she's kind of been behind the scenes, right? I mean, she's been there since 1999.
Yeah.
She's been there forever. And she, like you said, she knows every aspect of the business. She's worked at Industrial Light and Magic. She's, general manager of Lucasfilm, and her title was general manager of Lucasfilm business. So she runs the business. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So that's where I'm like, okay, Filoni, you want to give him a co-president? That just means maybe he can make some high-level decisions, every once in a while. But keep him on the creative. Let her run the business. I think you got a recipe for greatness there.
Agreed.
Yeah. We'll see what that means and when this actually takes place. It's going to somehow transition sometime this year, but no dates yet on when that's fully going to happen. Just keep Filoni busy making Star Wars. Then we'll be fine.
Oh heck yes! Oh heck yes!
One thing you talk about leadership. One thing I don't hear a lot about anymore, which you did for years after the buyout, was you don't really hear much about the story group anymore. You remember the story group?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Right? So Kathleen put the story group together when Disney bought Lucasfilm, which in the beginning kind of comprised of Pablo Hidalgo and Leland Chee and Matt Martin and a couple others. And they were tasked with keeping the continuity in the storylines of all the mediums, film, television, comics, books, games, making sure that there weren't any errors kind of in the timeline, and they were kind of vetting the stories to see if this makes sense versus what.
Right.
I kind of feel like since Filoni got there, it hasn't really. It's kind of been running through him now, and not so much. Even though I still think like on the comics is where I see it. Like there's still story group credits on there, but I see a lot of different names now, so I feel like it's like they're just like recycling several people here and there. But
couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't feel like anybody's really heard much about that or even questioned it. So, but I liked the idea of that, and someone a group of people kind of checking the continuity and the errors and things like that. But Filoni knows enough. I think he won't let too much go by. So that's that change. And then, of course, we have a much bigger change with the company that owns Lucasfilm. And that is that the CEO of Disney is stepping down, which pretty soon, like next month. And I'll let you. This is your company. I'll let you say who's going to take over.
I work for the brand. I don't speak for the brand. These are my opinions, mine alone. We have Josh D'Amaro, who has worked in this is somebody who knows Imagineering, and he knows this company. And when I heard that he was in the running, which honestly was when it was announced, when the rumors were leaking online, that's when I heard, it was part of the whole rumor mill. I was very excited because, as I said before, you want somebody who's in the CEO position to at least have a basic understanding of all aspects of the company. And Disney is huge. And theme parks, I mean, that's a good chunk of our profit. Look at the
60% of it, I think, is what I read.
Exactly. So personally, I'm stoked that he's going to be the CEO. Absolutely. Great choice, in my opinion. Never met the guy. I want to learn more about him, but I am excited. Iger was great. Like, I have nothing against Iger. I think he's a upstanding guy, and he did a great job too. So it'll be interesting to see what the new leadership brings.
Yeah. No, I think, as I've come to enjoy, Disney and the parks over the last 10, 12 years, you tend to, and what we do, what I do for a living too. It's like you're always kind of following and leaders and how they're making decisions and growing big companies like this. And it was funny because I believe it was around 2010. No, was it? I can't remember when Iger took over.
Oh.
Because he was in the position for like 15 years. I think it was maybe 2005.
Okay.
Because he was in the position for like 15 years before, which was right around COVID, I think, is when Chapek took over, and then he was only like 2 years, right? So something like that. Anyway, I remember when I got promoted to kind of run Wrigley back in, it's like 2014, 2015. One of the things I started doing was I actually really looked at some of the big CEOs, Iger, Tim Cook, and who was running Apple at the time, and just all these different Bezos. Obviously, it's like I was trying to gather just some advice and like what they were doing and how they were running. Even though we were a small company, I was mainly looking for how they treat employees and how they what kind of like time off did they give people, and just little things like that to keep, because I was in this industry, it's like the rule of thumb is you got to keep the crew happy, right? You just got to make sure they're happy. And I remember I don't know when it was during my tenure a little bit, but do you know the whole Masterclass series that's out there?
Oh yes.
So Bob Iger put out a Masterclass where he was asked several things about how and one of the things was he got asked how what was his pitch to become CEO of Disney. And I remember him, I remember pretty vividly. Like, he talked about like 3 pillars. Like I'm going to establish 3 pillars, and one was acquisition. One was guest experience, with the parks and stuff like that. And the other one was basically streaming, like Disney Plus. Like those were his 3 things that he said, this is the future of Disney, and this is what I'm going to focus on. And that's how he got to be the CEO. And this is a guy that started in the mailroom at ABC News. Like this guy, 25 years, worked his way up to becoming CEO of Disney. And I just remember reading about him more and learning about him more. And Iger is responsible, so people may not know that Iger is responsible for the purchase of Pixar, the purchase of Marvel, the purchase of Lucasfilm. I mean, it and eventually 20th Century Fox. It's like, he did a lot of stuff for the brand, and I think it was, when you look back at like the history of the CEOs of Disney, there were a lot of up and downs, and he's definitely a high point. I mean, he improved their stock incredibly. Had a little dip with Chapek there for a couple of years. Iger comes back, so I knew. I'm with you. I knew who Josh was because at all the like D23s and these conventions, he's the one that's up there talking about, because he was in charge of. I mean, his previous title was chairman of Disney Experiences. He's in charge. I mean, it says here he's in charge of 12 parks and 57 resorts. And this is the guy that knows, like you said, he knows what fans want out of a Disney experience. And look, people can complain about, I get it. People can be worried about and complain about the price all they want. I get it. It's not for everybody. But the people that can go, I mean, it's you do feel that experience. You do get that. and you got to be open to it though. You got to be able to, because it's not like just going down to the state fair or something like that, right? I mean, there's so much more than just the rides, and there's so much to experience and enjoy. And so, yeah, I remember Brooke, my wife. She's kind of the one that she fell in love with him because of the way he talked about the future of the parks, and she's always been a fan of his, and she's ecstatic too about this change. So,
Well, the huge thing too is like somebody who part of my job is in the parks, it's on the cruise ships working, and
yeah,
understanding there are some people who have saved up all this money for
mm,
this once in a lifetime opportunity.
mm-hmm,
Like you can't help but go, how can I make this special for them?
yeah,
How can we make sure that we stay out of their way or we help enhance their experience? And like I get that. There was a time years ago where Disney was fairly inexpensive.
right, right,
Thanks inflation. Um,
yeah, yeah,
so believe me, I don't speak for everyone at Disney, but I will say for myself, I'm very well aware that this is sometimes the once in a lifetime opportunity.
mm-hmm,
And whenever I'm in the park, I do my best to make sure that, that is respected. And the fact that Josh also seems to understand that is fantastic.
yes, yeah, yeah. I think I think it all, in my opinion, I think it just stems from if you can just stay true to the legacy of Walt, you're going to be successful, and he was just about, you know, always innovating, always trying something else, growing, and having just friends and family come and have a time, get away from the world and go experience,
Mm-hmm.
Something different. And that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. And I think it's impressive that a company that's 100 years old has still maintained that. Um, it's changed a lot of people's lives. It continues to change people's lives, and I've said it before. It's like there's no other place that I feel like Star Wars could have gone. I mean, you want to talk about a company that preserves legacy. I know there's arguments that they've destroyed Lucas's legacy, and I just don't believe that.
I
So
don't know where that comes from.
yeah, well, they think it's not as good as it was in when he first made it. So it's like, but that's subjective. So
Exactly.
I think that any company that has been around for this long, and you've been around for a reason, and that's because people believe in what you're doing. So I think Josh is the perfect candidate right now for this. And there's been interviews where he's talked about that he's going to do what Bob Iger did, which is take some risks. And there's probably going to be more acquisitions. There's probably going to be more growth. I mean, there's a park getting built in Abu Dhabi right now, right? There's more cruise ships getting created. So it's like it's going to keep growing, and they're already doing all these renovations to the parks currently. So it's that's the best part of it. Is I've gone to Disney now, 11 straight years. It's always a different experience. It's even though it's the same places, there's always something new. There's always new restaurant to try. There's always some new attraction to see. There's always something.
New performance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So new party to go to, or after party. And it's like different resorts to try. It's just you can't do it all in a lifetime. There's no way. And that's pretty impressive.
Speaking of new things to come, I do want to just say, oh, dinosaur countdown to extinction.
Yeah, is that?
It's done.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I heard it was done. Okay.
It closed. By the way, the wait that day, the highest that I saw it get to was 245 minutes.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, now they're not. That's not becoming Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones is actually going to be like they're actually tearing that down. Dinosaur, is that okay? I think I read. I think I read.
Not been involved.
Yeah, I read somebody. I think I read a rumor or something that someone said that they're converting Dinosaur to Indiana Jones.
I have no clue. I'm not part. That's not my department.
Yeah. It would kind of make sense. It kind of makes sense.
I mean, that's what they did with Tiana's Bayou with Splash Mountain. They kind of just did like a layover, a skin over. Like,
very similar. That's what I heard. But I feel like I feel like where Dinosaur is and where Indiana Jones was kind of proposed on the map, I don't think it's in the same area. So maybe they're not doing it like that. I don't know.
I have no clue.
Because the ride in the Disneyland ride, you're in that car kind of thing. So.
Right. I mean, they look similar.
And Dinosaur is really rough. That's a rough ride. I mean,
it's a fun one though.
Yeah.
Now,
it's okay.
Let's go get that dino.
Yeah.
I can quote it verbatim.
Are you the one that you love that movie, don't you?
I love the dinosaur movie. So it is so underrated.
Yeah. I know you told me that.
Good. If you have not seen it, you must see it. It is so good.
I have seen it. It's been a long time, but I did see it when it came out.
I was speaking for our listeners, but yes, you too, Dave. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, so lots of changes going on at the parks.
If you'll pull up the Disney app, it's gone.
Oh, okay. I like doing
like
that.
Literally
like
that night, as soon as the park closed, it was gone off of the map when you look to see it, attraction lines.
So that whole area now is closed off, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's still that path that still loops you up to the Nemo Theater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I know it's not called the Nemo Theater, but it's...
I know where Nemo's place,
Yeah.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom's going through some renovations right now, and Hollywood's going through some renovations right now, so it's going to be fun when all that stuff... that's why we're taking a little break, and we're hitting the ocean right now, so... yeah. Well, that was kind of all we wanted to talk about this episode was, the leadership change at Lucasfilm, leadership change at Disney, the Walt Disney Company. And, just to mention too, I guess, because it came down to Josh D'Amaro, and arguably it came down to a woman named Dana Walden, who is actually getting promoted as well, though still. She's becoming president and chief creative officer.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for a female CEO. I know I rumor mill wise it came between those two.
Correct.
But I still would have picked Josh just because I know he has the experience and understanding of multiple dimensions of the company.
Absolutely.
While she, at the moment, doesn't seem to. Now, she might. I've never met her. I don't know her.
Yeah.
That's just what it seems. But who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, or not a couple, but you know what I mean. In time, maybe she will step up to be the first female CEO of the Walt Disney Company.
Possible. Yep.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool to have a woman in charge.
Yeah. I feel like that's all I've ever done is work for women.
Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. But Josh, I tell you what, the thing about Josh though too is, again, Bob Iger is a great business guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not. To me, he wasn't always the greatest speaker and out, like up there personality wise. Josh is fantastic. He
That
gets
does
up
seem
there.
to be his strength.
He is charismatic. You can tell how much passion he has for the brand and what he's trying to do with the parks, and he's up there always just so excited. Bob is like a very business guy and just kind of reads the prompter kind of thing. What? Oh, you can't say anything about Bob Iger? Yeah, okay.
No,
Is that in your contract?
I liked him as a CEO. No, I don't have
No,
that
he's
sort
great.
of NDA, but
No, he is great. He was great. I think he's been the best CEO that Disney's ever had. But he wasn't like the most personable kind of guy. Even like he was on. I watch on Monday Night Football on ESPN2. They have the Manning cast where like Peyton Manning and Eli are commentating while they're watching. It's gotten very popular over the last couple of years, and they have guests come on while they're doing it. Well, Bob Iger was on as a guest this past season.
Oh,
But you could tell they were just trying to pull stuff out of him, and he was just very, very short, very dry kind of guy. So
I didn't listen, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But I was, there's just, he doesn't, Josh is just a lot more outgoing, I feel like. And I just think he's going to be fantastic. He's going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens and what things he's going to do and buy and do and grow and all that stuff. So,
oh yeah.
All right, Hannah. Yeah, some good changes coming. We'll see where it leads, but either way, we got Star Wars is still gonna be making some content still. So,
oh yes, indeed.
And we'll be right here to talk about it. So, thanks everybody for joining. Let us know what you guys think about the change, how that affects anything you're doing with Disney. Shouldn't. Disney's still going to be there. Still going to keep, what do you say, keep moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. I love that movie. What was it? Meet the Robinsons?
Great movie.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that
Oh,
movie.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, another underrated film.
Very underrated. Very underrated.
I quote that line of, "I have a big head and little arms. I don't think someone thought this plan through."
Yes. No, it's such a great
I
movie.
quote that a lot because I do have a big head and little arms. So
yeah, every time I watch it, I still get emotional at the end. It's so good.
oh yeah, it's
So good.
woof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, everybody. We are. We'll be back next week. I think before Hannah goes on vacation, I got some vacation coming up here soon, which I think we might be around 500, right around that point. So we'll see how that lands. I think it actually is going to be right around Actually, I think if I time it right, it's going to be right before Mall debuts. So, or it could be the Mall episode. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. All right. Take care, everybody. We got some Beyond the Sagas we're going to be doing. I know Martin and I got some council sessions on the way as well, so we got some topics to dive into. But we will see you guys soon. Thanks, Hannah, as always.
Thanks, Dave, as always.
Take care, everybody. May the Force be with you.